there's a lot of press interest in this gig. I was asked by a reporter, Ian, what do you know about Reading? And I don't know a lot about Reading, so I had to Google Reading. And apparently Reading is the cognitive process of understanding a written linguistic message. It's spelled the same as reading! Off we trot! No, give me a cheer, who remembers the Nazis? A few nostalgic cheers in there, good. I was thinking if the Nazis were successful in creating an Aryan race, they would have left the Germans with a very difficult version of the game Guess Who. Now, a few people laughed at that, a few people didn't laugh, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain that joke. I don't know if you know this, right, but the Aryan race is a group of people who facially, they're meant to look the same. Yet, guess who? Yeah, guess who? Yeah, people getting on board now, guess who? We're about to set sail, come on, guess who? You've got to spot a singular person from their facial differences, so it wouldn't have worked. Good, you're probably thinking, I reckon the Germans would have just completely snubbed the idea of Guess Who. Maybe gone for a Holocaust pun-based game, like Gas Who. But quite a dangerous joke to make in a competition final, especially with this amount of smoke being used. So, good. It's genuinely good to be in Scotland again. The first thing I saw when I come to Scotland was a tramp collapsed outside my flat. And next to him, a Scottish paramedic. And this was my first glimpse of the Scottish medical system. Of all the techniques in this paramedic's arsenal to help someone unconscious, this is the one he went for. Just poking a tramp, and you could hear his voice going, "Stop poking me, please. Stop, where's my mum? Stop poking me." And the thing that the Scottish paramedic genuinely said to this man, as if it's a legitimate medical technique, was, "I've got to keep poking you until you wake up." Excellent! If the Scottish medical system is that easy to get into, I'd have done it myself. So I've turned up to a crime scene and be told, "This woman's got serious head trauma, she's been unconscious for 30 minutes, she's been in a terrible car crash, Dr. Smith. Do you have any ideas?" "Yeah, I've got a few." "Wake up! Wake up! Wake!" I did everything I could. I want to tell you a quick story about my testicles. I had a testicular cancer checkup a while ago, and a bit of a hypochondriac, but what they do is they put some gel on your testicles so they can scan them. And the nurse tried to comfort me about the whole situation. She said, "Oh, don't worry, you. This is just going to feel like rubbing jelly all over your testicles." Where am I going to get that reference point from in my life? Like, oh, just like rubbing jelly in your testicles? Oh, thank God. I'm always rubbing jelly in my testicles. You should have said that I come pre-prepared. I had jelly in my testicles, I washed it off just going out of the house. I'm being a bit harsh on her though, to be fair, because I was once at a children's birthday party that got out of hand. Right, that's a paedophile joke. Now, I feel like a joke about sort of child abuse and things like that, because my parents used to hit me very badly when I was very, very young. Someone laughing straight away. Brilliant. No, they did. They used to hit me when I was very, very young, but that's okay, because I believe in the circle of life. So when they're very, very old, it's payback time. And on the subject of kids, give me a big cheer. Who remembers the TV programme Kids Say the Funniest Things? Yeah! Someone really fucking liked it. That was brilliant. And I was thinking, if that programme was to come back with Michael Barrymore still as host, possibly more appropriate to call it Kids Say, "Get off me, Michael!" Now, if you laughed at that joke, I noticed a few people there did. They're wrong. They're wrong to laugh at that joke, because Michael Barrymore was never accused of child sex offences. Just drowning homosexuals. And no one is going to commission drowning homosexuals say the funniest things. Because they don't! They don't say the funniest things! They're drowning homosexuals, they're just going to scream for help! Of course they're not going to say anything funny, they're not Ian Smith, they're drowning homosexuals! Think of the morals of that show, it'd be disgusting! Although I would watch a celebrity version. I want to show you, I brought a few things in my bag that I'm going to show you. I'm from a place near Hull, and I had an article in the Hull Daily Mail about being in this final. And the article sort of really angered me for two main reasons. One is that they chose to use a picture which a comedy friend described to me as the kind of picture that would get you raped in prison. So, you know, it's good to see it published, it's good to see it in there. But the thing that pissed me off most is that they wrongly quote me as describing my comedic style. They quote me as saying, "Oh, what's your comedy style like, Ian? Arty and pretentious." Who the fuck is going to describe that? I never said those words. "Oh, what's your comedy like, Ian? Pretentious." I just make obscure cultural references, and if people don't get them, I belittle them. It's like saying to someone, "Oh, what's your band like, Steve?" "Shit." "What are you like as a doctor?" "Negligent." I just quote people. That's all I do. The last bit I'm going to show you is the thing that used to scare me most about primary school. Now, if it looks like I'm shaking at any point, I'm not nervous, I've just done a line of coke. I found that I would never get a laugh at a student gig because it just gets a, "Oh yeah, me too." But the thing it genuinely used to scare me most about my time in primary school, I genuinely shit myself every time they'd be announced, was my school photos. Because I would always close my eyes. I did this for 5 years in a row. 5 years in a row, every single time the camera flashed. I did it so often that my parents would take a picture of my eyes separately so they could stick it on at a later date. I was like a 2D version of Mr. Potato Head. And my grandma lived far away, so we would send these pictures up to her so she could see how her grandson was doing. 5 years in a row, she must have thought I was retarded. I went up one year, I had my eyes open, she completely shunned me, she ignored me. She didn't recognise me at all, I fell asleep on the sofa. She said, "Ian, there you are." I woke up again, she said, "What's happening?" It's driven and mental, and if you think to yourself, what are the chances of this happening? 5 years in a row, every single moment a camera flashes, what are the chances of that happening? And then think to yourself, what are the chances, if he had a picture taken with his brother, they could both do